Welcome, everyone. I'm Dawn Loding. I am the National Education Director for the Power Girls, so I guess it is my responsibility to introduce our very own Robbie Johnson from Epic Realty. She is going to do her Stack the Bricks for a great 2026. And Miss Robbie, you have the floor. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Dawn talked about that we did this in Mississippi, and so it was like 3 hours. Oh, I'm going to condense all of this down to an hour. And one of the things that I want to share is that when we're doing this and we're talking, I call it open mic. I want you to stop and let's talk about things. I want you to ask questions. I don't want to just talk through all of this. If there's something that you want to share, or maybe there's something that you're struggling with that you might need, a coaching moment or just to hear from everybody else in here, that's what this is about and what this is for. So, and if we don't get finished in this, the way the booklet is set up, you can finish the booklet on your own. Normally, I hand out the booklet, I do the talking, and people can write things down. But I was scared that everything might not get done. So I have kind of a little bit more in the booklet than what normally is in there. So I am going to screen share with y'all so that you can have the booklet for those who have not downloaded it. Hold on, let me get to share and screen share. Can y'all see it? Can everybody see it? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
It's hard for me to see chats whenever I'm screen sharing. So if somebody put something in the chat, if y'all could please let me know that it's in the chat, just so that I know. And or just, you don't have to raise your hand. I mean, just open up your mic and talk, and let's talk about things. So stack the bricks in 26. I went to, how many of you use Chat GPT? I'm gonna think that it's probably every single person. Have you noticed that it gets to know you? Like, who am I? It always says Robbie Johnson is a coach at heart. It's always what it comes up. And so I went to Chat GPT and I said, I need to think of something because Thrive in 25 was my big thing. So every year I have kind of a word of the year and that kind of. So I went to it and I said, I want something to go with 26. And so ChatGPT responds and tells me stack the bricks in 26 because that goes right along with who you are and building foundations for people and helping them to build their life and their business. And I was like, this computer knows me better than I know myself. This is wonderful. That's how Stack the Bricks in 26 came about. And what it's talking about is, building that foundation. And, every great building has to start with a vision. So before you can even lay that first brick, you've got to have an architect who's going to draw that big picture for you. And, right now you're that architect. So you're the architect of what you want your life to look like. What's your blueprint for what you want your life to look like? And, in that, the very first thing, in my opinion, in forming that vision is, what is your why? Because your why is basically the mortar, it's the cement. And as you lay those bricks and you build your life, every time you lay a brick, you got to put more mortar. And so we always have to revert back to, what is our why? Do all of you have a why? Do you have the reason that you get up every single day and face life? And my why doesn't really change. My why is to live a life that my children will not make the same mistakes that I made, and to have a man who walks beside me in life as my partner and basically not a narcissist. That's my why. And it doesn't change. It's always who and what I want to be. And so every single day when I say thank you, God, for letting me breathe again today, that's always my focus, is to live my life so that they're proud of me. So if you've not written your why before, I think that that is something, and I do like training classes on how to write a why. You're welcome to ever sit in on those if I ever do those. But you really need to write 2 to 3 sentences of what it is that makes you motivated every single day to continue in our career and life and all of the things. Next, I want you to write a couple of sentences about what you want 2026 to look like. What do you want it to be? Is money driving you? Is health driving you? You know, sometimes one thing may drive you, but something else happens in your life that another thing drives you. So, what do you want 2026 to actually look like? At the end, on December 31st, you can call it goals if you want to call it goals, whatever you want to call it. I say, what do you want it to look like? But on December 31st, what's going to make you proud? What will you have accomplished? If y'all have thoughts on that, let me know, because this will go real fast if you don't. Okay, next is what I call my non negotiables. You know, your non negotiables are what hold you firm in life. They are your unshakable pillars. They're just the things that no matter what, you can't or won't compromise on. Every single week on Sundays, I look at my calendar, and the very first thing that's going to go on my calendar for Monday morning. Do y'all use paper calendars or do you use electronic calendars? I- So I'm
Both.
but
Both.
I love that because I'm both. And I'm a very, very visual person. I love the electronic calendar because it gives me reminders, especially whenever I, get focused in my computer. I will lose all track of time if I'm designing something or making a video or whatever. I'll lose track of time. But my paper is my visual, where I can just look at my whole week moment by moment. And the very first thing that goes on my calendar are my non negotiables. So for me, a non negotiable is every Wednesday, except for now one Wednesday a month, but every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, I have a national call. That is a non negotiable for me. I'm not scheduling a showing during that time. I'm not scheduling walkthroughs. I'm not scheduling closings. I'm not scheduling other meetings. That is a non negotiable for me. I am going to, unless I am sick, I am going to be on those calls. Other people, I'm a grandmother now, so I don't have littles at home any longer. When I'm in Mississippi, I have non negotiables at 5 and 6 o'clock. I'm picking up my granddaughters sometimes. However, for people who are maybe still moms, would a non-negotiable be that at 2 o'clock you might be in a carpool line? Are you going to leave your child sitting at the bus stop? That's a non-negotiable. I want you to think about non-negotiables whenever we continue on in this. Lead generation, building relationships, those should be just as important. Don't leave your business at the bus stop. You want to continue with building all of those things instead of saying, I can just take that off my calendar when somebody asks you to lunch. How many times is it where you've got a 2 hour time block and you get a phone call because somebody wants to see something right now, or somebody wants you to go do this, or, oh, I'm just doing lead generation, it can wait. Well, in 30 to 90 days, because that's what it's affecting, in 30 to 90 days, you get to think back to that moment and say, maybe that should have been a non negotiable. What my husband does for me, which I love, is if I take something off of my calendar like that, he makes me put it back on before I go to bed, because he knows how important my non negotiables are for me. And there are things for me, such as my business building or my team building or my coaching, those are non-negotiables. Those are my daily disciplines and they are my commitments. And when I'm on a coaching call, like a private coaching call, um, I don't ask them to do homework. I just flat out say, what are you committed to in changing your life? Everything's hard. I have a saying that says, choose your hard. What's harder? Doing it today or the consequences of not doing it? You get to choose your hard. You get to choose everything in life. So look at it as a commitment to your life, look at it as a commitment to your business, and you really need to break it down into daily, weekly, personal, those types of what your non-negotiables are so that you can start putting them on your calendar. How many of you already work like that? And y'all need to speak up because I can't see you. I can't see anybody.
I need to work like that. This is Mary. I need to do better at that.
I'm in the process.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, for Oregon State, we had a guest speaker who also walked us through some business planning. And so even though I did the same thing last year, I'm actually implementing it this year and filling in the blanks. So yeah, I'm definitely honoring the non-negotiables, and I think it's amazing. So I'm committed. Let me put it that way. I'm committed and I'm in the process. So I'm looking forward to 26.
Awesome. Dawn, just talk.
I also like
Yes, but I'm
I'm
in the
really
middle of
good
a
at the
meeting.
can you hear
Can I
me?
do it in a minute?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm really good at the non-negotiables. I'll say like one of them for me, and this one was huge, is I do not go to lunches during the week with anybody. Like I stay home and I protect my morning me time. It's where I plan, it's where I write things, it's where I'm very creative and my brain works the best. So I won't even do a Zoom meeting before like 10 o'clock. And so, and then I don't plan lunches, and if I go to coffee or something, it's in the evening. And so those lunches are a time suck. But people are important. So I just schedule them on Fridays, or we do like an afternoon coffee. So I'm not saying they're not, but it can't take away from my time. So I love non-negotiables.
And
That's interesting, Dawn, that you said that because I've started doing the same with lunches. I schedule my lunches, like even our top agent lunch. I schedule that on Fridays at 11:30 because I have Epic Essentials at 2. So I've got to get in my mental game of Epic Essentials as well. So, everything is about that time blocking. And I find 11:30 is my magic number. I can get finished around 1 and get back to my computer and get focused on Epic Essentials. Somebody was going to say something and I interrupted them. I apologize. Did somebody
oh,
else?
I was going to say that Dawn is 100% sticks to that.
Is that Teresa talking? I recognize that voice.
It is. It is.
Oh, I
Is
love
anything
that.
I plan for our area, I'm not going to be there. Sorry.
Yeah, I get it.
She's very good about that.
That's awesome. Good for you, Dawn. Okay, so we're going to talk about now is our bricks. And, after this, or you can do it while we're sitting here talking, I'd love to see you write down like 3 to 5 that you're going to choose for 2026. So, these are going to be your repeatable actions, skills, systems that maybe create stability and momentum, the things that you're going to focus on for 2026. Each year, when I started building my team, each year I had a year of. And as a team leader, I picked one main thing and then I broke it down into strategies and priorities. Today, I'm more of 3 to 5, and I break those down into strategies and priorities. But, getting your systems in place, or maybe saying, I want to focus on open houses or I want to focus on listings. That's what you want to put right here. So maybe you want to master your CRM. And when I say master the CRM, I don't mean just going to a lofty class. I mean actually putting all the names in there, having ways to get all of the information with birthdays and things like that, and then actually utilizing your CRM through what I call an engagement program. And again, I teach a class on that. You're welcome to ever sit in that if you would like to. Some companies call them touch programs. I don't want to touch somebody, I want to engage with somebody. And so I call it an engagement program. But other bricks could be like mastering listing presentations, or really starting video marketing, nurturing your database, or as I call it, your data bank. It's your bank of business. Connecting with your sphere, follow-up systems, buyer and seller pipelines, community engagement, events. There's so many different things in your business that you could focus on. And then we take those and break them down into monthly, weekly, and daily activities to be able to achieve your goals. Your bricks are your building blocks. They are how you are going to get to that life that you're wanting to be proud of at the end of 2026. And I want you to also think about, I kind of gave you in those bricks just business bricks, but there's other bricks. There's your health, maybe your weight, maybe you want to remodel your home. I mean, there's other things in there that you might want to use as a brick too. It can be personal and professional, and I would absolutely do both. And I usually do both. Maybe it's getting your finances together, starting a 401k plan. I mean, whatever it is, put your brick down and then you break it down into the daily activities in order to make that happen. I'm going to share with you that anything that you do, the biggest word in it is consistency. And I'm probably not telling anyone on this call anything that they haven't heard 10,000 times from 10,000 different people. When I was in our goal setting session on Monday, Nikki Jones on my team, she closes probably about 15 million a year. And while that may not sound like a lot to some of you, in a town where an average price point is about $220,000, it's a lot of business. And she was talking about, she's been in the business for 10 years. And so some of the newer agents who were in our goal setting, we were doing Stack the Bricks and we were on this part right here. She was talking about her closeout systems and what she does in our engagement program and different things like that. And I said, I want you to stop right now. You are hearing from an agent who closes about 15 million plus per year, and she never falters from the things that have made her and continue to make her successful. She is all about accountability of herself and consistency. Y'all, there is no magic pill in this. Well, there is. There is a magic pill. The magic pill is relationships. You can buy leads all day long, but unless you know how to quickly build a relationship with somebody new, you're not going to win their business. So whether you're buying leads or you're working as organic from your sphere, it is all about building and fostering relationships. That is your magic pill. So all of the things we do often center around that. That's even in our life. That's in our personal lives as well, is fostering and building relationships. So there's not a single video. There's not just one client. There's not just one listing that's going to make you successful. It's the consistency of doing the things over and over again. If you want to get into video marketing, it's the consistency of doing those videos every single day. Does that make sense? You have to be consistent in anything that you do. You've got to be very intentional about it as well. And you've got to give it time to see if it's going to work. Doing it one time, like I teach equity letters as well. And I'm like, you can't just do this one time. You've got to give it every 6 months, doing this again and again, because trust me, it's going to build your business if you're doing it right and you're doing it consistently. You will build something and create something that is absolutely unshakable. And that is my word for this year, unshakable, because I've had a lot of people in my personal life who are trying to shake me, and I am unshakable. So your bricks, they become your habits, they become what you're known for. I was in a meeting 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, with Sam and Jay, and I know y'all know Sam and Jay. And one of the things that we were talking about is, there's some companies out there that we can say the brokerage name and they're automatically known for this. And that really hit home for me of, what am I known for? And I wasn't talking about with my clients in that, because I'm not today just a client-based person. I'm an epic-based person as well. At being a coach and being someone, and a lot of times that's broker agnostic, of being someone who wants to build other agents up and help other agents succeed. And that's when the 5 o'clock Tuesday trainings, that's how they were born. Where now every single Tuesday, I'm doing a 20-minute training. My husband was listening, and when he hung up, he was like, I know your mind is going 90 to nothing. And I'm like, what can I do with training? And he said, why don't you do a 20-minute training every single week instead of once a month? And you just touch on a topic that can, help somebody in their business or change their life. And so that's what I'm doing now. And that's where that was born from. But for me to become known as a trainer, and those who have heard my talk, there's a difference between coaching, training, and mentoring. But for me to become known as a trainer as well, I have to stay consistent in that. That's in every single part of our life. You are going to, in your bricks, you're going to have to find discipline. I think that's another, key word in all of this. If you want to turn your goals or your dreams, whatever you want to call them, into reality, you're going to have a lot of intention and a lot of discipline. So I want to hear just real quick. I want y'all to we've got time for y'all to kind of talk up and tell me what you're thinking about, maybe some of your bricks to be in 2026. Y'all can raise your hand or go first, however you want to do it. Don't make me call on y'all, because I will.
Hi, Robbie. This is Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth.
I'll be honest, one of my biggest zones of discomfort, we'll call it, is the reaching out to people, cold calling. Oh,
Say that again.
So she can do it right now.
there's a hot mic.
Yeah, there's.
Sorry,
don't
it's
mute it.
Trina.
I don't know.
I'm trying to. Trina, can you please mute, hun?
So annoying.
Sorry.
That's okay. Say it again, Elizabeth.
One of my
Jeffrey's whose name?
You see
Okay,
that, Candy?
I got her. I
You
got
got
her.
it? Okay.
is one of my biggest blocks, we'll call it. So I guess to me it would be a brick I need to tear down on the bad side, but it's cold calling. It's proactively reaching out to strangers. I don't have an issue talking to friends or people at work, but it's the just getting into the CRM and reaching out to people. And that's something I know I need to work on in 2026.
Okay, so you've said two things that I want to ask you about. You used the word stranger and CRM. So do you have people in your CRM who you do not know at all, which is very common? Okay, so these are maybe people who you've met at an open house, or there may be a lead from a lead source or something like that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you keep track in your CRM as to where that name came from?
Yes.
Okay. And I will share this little tip for those of you who know Catherine Lachaux. She's an area leader in Texas. one of the things that she does in her phone, once she kind of connects with somebody, she's spoken to them, she will, their name, so their first name in her phone is Robbie Johnson, and the second name, her last name in the phone is met at open house in October of 2023 on Sales Boulevard. So it comes back to her as soon as she sees that phone ringing or a text message come through. So I do that as well. So when they say, do you remember me? And I'm like, of course I remember you. How could I not remember you? I met you in October of 2023 at an open house. So that's a way to kind of connect and remember people, is make sure that you're tracking where you actually met them. Okay, so you said stranger, cold calling. They're not really a stranger if they're in your CRM. Somehow they came to you. Somehow there is that connection there. So if you want to call them, it may be in an approach of, I know that we connected whenever you inquired about this property. Are you still looking for properties? However you want that conversation to go.
Mhm.
But that will ease you into that conversation. If they say no, then you have your answer. That they, do you want me to keep you on my newsletter list or keep you on this list? Do you want information about houses? You can just ask them.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
not,
I like that approach.
I'm
Because
hard when
it gives a reason to call, with, even if previously I didn't look at it that way. It felt like, oh, I got this lofty lead and they happened to check out a website somewhere and look at a house, and now I'm going to call them out of the blue and be like,
okay, and
hey.
so another reason, Elizabeth, could be that I know that you were looking at homes in the Abilene area for around $200,000. I had one that just came on the market. I thought of you. I know it's been a while since maybe we've connected, but I did think of you. Are you still looking for homes in the $200,000 range? And then they'll answer the question, yes or no. And you can continue it from there. Or what kind of homes are you looking for today? Make them talk instead of it being a yes or a no. I am not the best coach with cold calling because I don't do it. Do y'all mind? I think I have time. Do y'all mind if I tell y'all a quick story about what I did? I am a trainer, a coach, and a mentor who has a life and makes mistakes. So my son is on my team. His name is Alex. He's been a realtor for 10 years and he's a very successful realtor, and he's in appraisal school today. So he said I guess it was probably about 6 years ago, he said, Mom, let's go door knock together. And I was like, okay, we'll do this together. So he's going to take a street, this big long street, and I was going to go take a big long street. I knocked on one door, and I was like, this is just not for me. And I need to go to Hobby Lobby. So I go to Hobby Lobby. He thinks I'm door knocking on the next street over. I go to Hobby Lobby and I run into one of his friends who knows that we're door knocking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to tell him that I'm not door knocking. And so I went back and he calls me. He says, I'm finished. I'm in my car at the end of the street. And he goes, how did you do? And I'm like, I can't lie. I need to confess, door knocking is not for me. I knocked on one door and it's just not for me. So the point of that, and I said, and I had to tell you because I was going to get told on. So I can't lie. But the point of that is that you have to find what works for you and what you're comfortable with in this business. Not everybody's cut out for cold calling. And, for many years, I would hear, I mean, Dawn and I have both been in this business, I think 24 years. I'm starting to lose count because we're as old as Jesus. And I know that it is just, there's just things that people will say, you have to cold call, you have to do this, you have to call the phone book. And I'm like, there's got to be another way. And over time, we've seen that evolve with text messages and different things like that. So there's lots of ways that you can communicate It doesn't have to just be cold calling. So if you find, Elizabeth, that you're not good at that and you're struggling with that, what I find with agents is it paralyzes them. And when in that 2 hours that you should be working on your lead generation, you get paralyzed. So you've got to do the activities that are not going to paralyze you. And, fear paralyzes. And so finding that root and understanding where that fear is coming from. And a lot of times it's that you're going to get hung up on. Oh, well, you might get hung up on, but you also might produce business from it. So I'm going to share my little saying with you. Choose your hard. Is it harder to make the call or harder not to make the call? You get to choose. So-
Robbie, I'm right there with you. I also do not like to door knock. And I was doing an open house years ago, and I pulled up to the neighborhood, and I'm supposed to go deliver these invitations that I spent all this time making. And I just started bawling. I started crying, sitting in my car. And instead of giving that power away and giving in, I said, you know what? I don't have to do this. I will find a way to do lead generation on my terms that I enjoy doing. And I did. I don't mind calling people that have come in on a website, because I say, "Hey, it's Dawn. You found me on my website. That's great. I would love to help you. Like, how can I help you?" And we just all got to find what works. So some of you are saying, like, you are good at door knocking or you are good at cold calling. It's all good, y'all. There's like 101 ways to lead generate.
There is.
And we're giving you permission to do what works for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Anything else? Anybody wants to
I wanted
input
to say
on
something.
their bricks?
I
Yes.
wanted to say something about that, Robbie. That was so beautifully said. And I just wanted to say, Elizabeth, I hate cold calling too. I've done this. I've been a coach trainer for my last company for 32 years, and I'm not going to tell them to cold call or do door knocking because I'm not going to do it. It does work for some people, right? But do it safely, whatever. But instead, just changing the narrative, it's warm calls. Those are warm calls you're calling because they're in your sphere. Your sphere is the biggest database you have, and you always can find a reason to reach out to them. And when you think about it, just do it and just say, like she said, I was thinking about you. Da, da, da. People love to talk, or maybe send a text or a video, but they love to talk about themselves and hear from you. They really do. So good luck with
I
that.
agree. I can't see who said that, but
That
thank
was
you.
Donna Joe from Oregon with Amber.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Joe. I love that. And it's
Well,
so,
and
so true.
yeah, and you guys just gave me the chills too about emphasizing that it is really about the path that we're choosing for ourselves, because I was at, brokerage before where it was very much like, if you're on a team, you're going to be successful this way. If you're a solo agent, you'll be successful by doing these things. It was more about your life should look like this, not how can we support the life that you are designing for yourself. And so that just really resonates with me for sure.
We all have a different, it's kind of like, and I know that I probably drive the other team leaders in our town crazy at other brokerages because I don't care. My son hates when I say I don't care. I don't care if my team is number one or not. Because what makes my team number one are the individuals on this team who have their personal goals. If they have achieved their personal goals and that puts us as number one, well, great. If they achieve their personal goals and that puts us at number two, great. Because it's not about me. The team's not even named after me. It's not about me. It's about them. It's about each one of you. And your life is going to look very different from what I want from my life. And neither one of them are right or wrong or better than the other. So this has to be about you. And for those of you who are, in relationships, when that can come together with your significant other, that's a beautiful thing too, to be able to make that mesh and be able to support each other of what your life goals are. Okay, anything else on this, or we can move to the next one. So your next one is what I talk about is your targets. And so your targets are how you're measuring things. And there's lots of things that, we need to measure. So you can either measure by the transactions that you do, so for somebody who wants to be a power agent in Epic, they're either going to measure by their sales volume or they're going to measure by the transactions that they're doing. Whatever that goal is, you've got to think about, what those measures are. If you're wanting to grow your sphere, grow your CRM, well, then you're going to be measuring your data bank. Where if I was your coach, I would be coaching you on how many conversations you're needing to have per day to be able to grow that database to a healthy level. If you have personal goals, well, how are you achieving those personal goals? I mean, how many people, gyms make so much money in January because people have health goals and they're going to go to the gym and they go, here we go back to the consistency. They go for maybe 1 month and then they stop going. So everything, okay, if y'all are going to do that. So first of all, I'm not a gym person. I don't run. I don't anything. I say the only time I run is to the car in the rain. That's it. I'm not a runner. If y'all are going to do that gym stuff and say that you're going to the gym, I want that to be a non-negotiable on your calendar for 1 year and stick to it. Make it a non-negotiable, because it's just a waste of money if you're not going to make it a non-negotiable. So, but you're going to have to track everything and you're going to have a system to be able to track it. And if you are somebody who doesn't hold yourself well to your commitments, you need an accountability partner. And my thought process on your significant other being an accountability partner, I have had to do a lot of self-growth in order for Jeff to be my accountability partner. Because for those of you who have heard my speech before, I do not believe that the word constructive and the word criticism go in the same sentence. Don't ever use that around me. There's nothing constructive about criticism. You can give me constructive feedback. I have had to learn that my husband was giving me feedback and not criticism, because I would bow up as to why I haven't stuck to my commitments. So you've got to be, in a great place with yourself and your relationship in order to have your significant other be your accountability partner. If that doesn't work well for you, then you need a coach or you need a friend. You need somebody who you can report into and talk to about, the accountability. So thoughts on that? Questions? Anything? Okay, we're going to move to potential obstacles. As I've put on here, every wall faces a storm. And the question isn't if obstacles are going to come, but when. It's kind of like we say in our area, it's not when the house has foundation problems, or if it does, it's when. In Destin, we used to say it's not if it has termites, it's when it has termites. So it's the same thing in our business. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that are going to hit you and maybe change your course even. My husband had a cancer scare this year. It just totally changed my life. He had stage 1 cancer, and it's because I saw it. If I wouldn't have seen it, we could be facing stage 2 or 3. So, there's things that can be very life altering for you that may not be preventable, that you may be able to see. But there's also things that, like Nikki on my team, for instance, when we were talking about this, one of her obstacles is her son is going to be graduating from high school. So he'll be going off to college. So she's going to have a mental obstacle of empty nester. It's her last one at home. So there's going to be a lot of change there for her. There's going to be some financial changes because she's going to be now paying for 3 in college instead of 2. Instead of 2. So there's, you know, those are obstacles that she is now already realizing those are going to come to her in 2026. So there's things that you can even start to identify within the year that could potentially be cracks for you. I mean, there have been team leaders who I've seen that their whole, you know, they dissolve their whole team or their whole team walks out the door. It may not have been something that they could see. Maybe it was something that they could see. But if you know that there could be a potential obstacle and you can identify what that potential obstacle can be, it'll keep you from scrambling. Let's think about let's go back 3 or 4 years when we knew that interest rates were going to go up. That was an obstacle. That was a major obstacle. So what were you doing to pivot your business during that time period when those interest rates were going up? We knew it was coming. So any thoughts on that? Anybody have any obstacles that they're dealing with even right now? They want to share? This is a place, I would think in Power Girls, I don't get to sit on these all the time, but I would think in Power Girls that this is a place where you open up and share things and share your struggles, especially.
I have one, Robbie. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
You can.
Okay, I'm at a coffee shop. So I've been, struggling with, so I've worked really hard to get all of my deals almost to the finish line. And I want to say the last 5 fell through. So I just kind of had to encourage myself today because we were supposed to close tomorrow. And I'm just like, what is it? So I am leaning heavily on God, right? To kind of show me like during this transit, like, what is it? Like, right. I know there has to be something on the other side or something that he is, he's working on behind the scenes that I obviously don't understand or don't know or can't see. Right. So just leaning heavily on him and praying that he kind of like show me what that is. It has to be something happening, right? But what is that something? So that's one of my struggles that I've been dealing with.
I want to first say how happy I am for you to hear you say that you are looking for that opening, because there are so many people who I speak to that, I don't feel like God blessed me. God, in my opinion, doesn't say I'm going to bless you today and you today, but you're not getting blessed today. It doesn't work that way. We all have opportunities before us, whether you believe in God or not. There's opportunities before us, and we've got to open that door and walk through it to see what those opportunities are and see those signs when opportunities come to us. And sometimes be risk takers. In your situation has it been the last 5? I mean, like in a row have not closed? Is there a pattern as to why they're not closing?
Yeah, it has been the last 5. And so not necessarily a pattern like the last one. Actually, when I was in Orlando for the leadership retreat, I got the notification that the buyers did something really stupid last minute, and that one didn't close. Today, it was like a city violation issue. The last one, we just couldn't come to a happy medium with the seller. He wanted my buyer to come up with too much out of pocket, and my buyer was like, absolutely not. I've invested like thousands in this deal already, like with the appraisal, my down payment. So it's just been one thing or the other. And it's like, okay, what? Like, again, I just keep hitting that brick wall. And I'm like, okay, what is this? You know
So
what I
the
mean?
one today, though, that just fell through, I'm hearing that you could probably find them something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one good thing. There, in listening to you too, I feel like your personality is you're going to try to find the positive. I don't know
Yeah.
you. This is my first conversation. But I want you to always remember this. And especially when we go back to that time period of those interest rates going up. I mean, the 20th of every month, it seemed like the interest rates were going up more. I live by there is opportunity in chaos. And right now, Sherry, there's chaos for you with those. And you're going to need to find that opportunity that's in there. And maybe that opportunity is maybe producing videos that talk about these things, talk about maybe why deals fall through. where, you know, you're connecting with people in that manner. I'm just throwing out ideas.
No,
But
you
just
know what, Robbie, I
remember there's,
appreciate you saying that because that was my thought process. So the fact that that fell in my spirit today, like after experiencing that, I said, you know what, I got to make a video. And the fact you're saying it, I think that's the way God confirmed things. He give it to you first, and then he let someone else come along and confirm it. So maybe that is the lesson in this.
you can't, I mean, because so many people thrive off learning videos, you know, listening to people, listening to the stories and the experiences and things like that. If you do it, I want you to tag me in it so that I can see it. Okay. Please do that for me. Okay. So I want y'all to come up with a word. I told y'all what my word was. It's unshakable. And I want you to, you know, you can write a few sentences. You can even go to ChatGPT, talk about maybe some things that are going on in your life right now. Sherry, perfect. The things that are going on for you. I find that if I write a couple of sentences each year, then I can pull the word out, or what the meaning is in it. And so, and that's how I came up with unshakable for 2026 for me. But that word has to be your anchor. And as I put in here, when doubt creeps in, you got to repeat that word. There's not many on the call. I mean, Dawn knows what I'm going through right now with my daughter and a divorce, an ugly divorce. And so when things creep in, I have to repeat. I'm unshakable. She's unshakable. When I'm tired, I repeat it. And then, you know, when you achieve success, you repeat it even louder, make it louder and louder. But think about what you want your word to be. And I keep a list of my words so that I can go back and remember those years and see how far I've come in every single year and how I've built from every single year. Last year, my word was focus. And this year it's unshakable. But the way that I did it was writing the sentences. And last is building your empire. And every day you have to choose whether you are building your empire or watching someone else build their empire. And you know, I truly believe that each of us, especially as women, we can build our own empires. There are many opportunities in real estate for us to be able to build our empire. And that empire is your life by design. It's the life that you want. And it's that what you're going to look at in a year from now. What I want to impart on you is that this is the time of year that people take off work. I'm so proud to see each one of you on this call, especially with Thanksgiving next week. You know, people, I always say, October, what happens in October? Halloween happens in October. And what does that really mean? That means the holidays start. As soon as we hit Halloween, every 4 weeks, we've got a holiday. So I find that agents, especially agents who have children and other, you know, responsibilities, they kind of just check out in November and December. And the reason is because they're torn in so many different directions. Their children may be home from school. They've got, you know, classroom parties, or you may be in, you know, a very social person and you're invited to a lot of Christmas parties and different things. Our life gets torn in so many different directions. Banks are closed. We're not working. The title companies are closed. And whatever you're doing right now, it's going to affect the next 30 to 90 days. I've already said that once today. It's going to affect. I want you to think about that in January and February. What comes in the mail in January and February? Or maybe a notification on your phone. A credit card bill for Christmas. So if you are not working and continuing your pipeline into first quarter, you've still got bills to pay from last quarter. You've got to keep working and you've got to keep focused. And everything that we talked about today, it doesn't need to begin. If you begin all of this on January 1st, you're already 30 days behind. It needs to begin right now. So January 1st, you are rolling and going, and you've got things in the pipeline to close in January. So, as you leave today, I just want to impart on you as we finish this up. Your future's in your own hands. There's nobody else who can do it for you, but you. We're here to build with you and build together. Especially those of you who are, I don't know if everyone's in Epic or not, but those of you who are in Epic, there's many tools for you to be able to build the life that you want right there. But I want each one of you to look back on 2026 and be proud. Be really, really proud of it. And hopefully some of this today will help you get you in the right direction and the right mindset. So thank you very much for letting me be here. And I'm going to turn it back over to Mary and Dawn.
Thank you, Robbie.
Robbie, that was awesome. Awesome. Thank you. So much to think about, right? One thing I have to do a better job at is looking back when I'm planning 2026 and seeing what was good and positive and what I planned for 2025, what happened? What was good? What came out of something that I planned in 2024 for 2025? So you can keep it in perspective or I can keep it in perspective for me of, when you do plan these things and you stick to it, then this is what you get. This is the outcome that you get, right? So I think I need to do a better job of also reevaluating the positives of 2025 when I'm planning 2026.
And I think it's really important to look at this business planning that Robbie just did. And it's not always about the numbers. A lot of times it's about our personal goals. Like what we have to really get into our heads sometimes to pick our own brains and figure out what is going to make a life that we're happy with. So I know for me, like I look back at this time of the year over this year and all my goals, like I go through my planner and look at every month because I do have a paper planner and it's where I plan everything, the goals really, not so much for the time, but the goals for the month that I set for myself. And what did I not do? What do I need to be better at? And what are my goals for next year? And so it's not always just about planning out the numbers. That's another business planning clinic that we're not going to do. All right, Robbie, girl, I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? We have literally 2 minutes left.
Looks like Charlene does. Charlene, yes, no? Where'd you go?
Oh, I think she was saying bye.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Robbie. Thanks everybody for being here. And yeah, I love you. You're amazing.
Thank you.
There will be no call in December. We take December off to be with family and work if you want to work.
Yep. I don't want y'all taking off. Y'all can take off from this call, but all of you on this call,
we're going to give you this extra hour to go make calls until
there you go.
Merry Christmas.
It's a holiday, not a hollow month, right?
Exactly. That is so true.
I love that.
But we like to have a really good audience for our speakers, and we just don't have a good audience for our speakers in December. So we will see you all in January. We have an awesome speaker coming in January for you, and we will see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.